I just had to make this video. This guy is a guy I'm debating with, John Boggs, and he was a very interesting debater. I had a lot of fun debating with him. We had a whole bunch of threads going on, and this is our most recent one. And so he creates another one, another comment, saying that this clip alone puts the Bigaton turbo laser joke, puts paid to the turbo. Well, he's basically saying this video right here eliminates that. And as you can see, we see Thrawn firing on the Rebels base, and as you can see, all it does is this, which looks pathetic. It does. Here, especially here, these are turbo lasers, mind you. These things, we've seen them in the original trilogy vaporize asteroids, requiring kilotons to megatons. Yet at the same time they're doing this, so, well, in my mind, because, well, you can't do anything to an asteroid if you're doing little explosions like that, which don't barely even scorch the ground. So, I think it's obvious that this is proof they can change their firepower. And, right here. So, I say they can change their firepower. Why do you think those explosions are smaller than the explosions we see in other films, or even AT-AT shots? Why do you think General Veers and Agent Callus order maximum firepower, and he calls me a broken record, on which, to be fair, I am, but at the same time we both are. And so he says, well, they were just using the big guns. And I said, well, if they were doing that, then wouldn't they fire about all their guns? And inconsistency doesn't explain different turbo laser sizes, speeds, or especially explosion sizes. Well, that's speculation. And I say, and he says it's an inconsistency, and I say, well, you're speculating that they can't change their firepower even though we see them do it. And blah 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 blah. I mean, we managed to fill up this much space over absolutely nothing. And then I share my Google Drive links, and he eventually deletes. He says he admits to deleting some of my comments, especially the ones which would have beat him. And I say, of course you resort to censorship. And he goes, you don't deserve anything else. Oh, well, that's a bit harsh. And I make a comment. He says, this is his refutation. And then he goes, he just says, I'll keep deleting your comments. Why would he do that? That's a question I'd like to ask. Why? What is his motives here? I mean, he's not going to convince anyone if he admits to deleting his opponent's comments. This is when I say, well, look, in Catalyst, the canon book Catalyst, they mention the Death Star's ignition shot, single reactor shot, was the same power as the combined batteries of a qaz-class warship. And he says, well, it didn't exist until Catalyst, and no one knows anything about it. It's probably a super star destroyer. And he says it shouldn't have existed, even though it's canon. So he's the one who's trying to redefine canon. He accuses me of trying to do that. This guy. So, I mean, what does he gain? I mean, if he's just a sock puppet account, well, if he's just a sock puppet account, he can just go curb stomp Trekkies regularly. He doesn't have to act to make a Trekkie look stupid. That doesn't make sense. I'm trying to dig through. I don't understand. I mean, and he's friends with Adasmi, or Adasmi and him are sock puppets controlled by the same guy. And I make a note on this. He hasn't deleted this yet. And I ask him, why is he wasting his time on this? Now you might want to see my arguments on why he's wrong. So I created a Google Drive on that. And then here's a screenshot showing me, my refutation, because he claimed I didn't have one up there. So I showed a screenshot. Clearly shows his comment, my comment. And that was when my nickname was Shalom Griffin Flyer. And here's some quotes. Twilight Company, page 61, chapter 5. He'd seen the ships evolve from overwrought behemoths barely able to power their frames to the greatest weapons in the Imperial fleet, each capable of transporting thousands of soldiers or laying waste to continents or orbital platforms. That's pretty clear. They've got the power to lay waste to continents. So obviously you can't do that with the firepower shown in the other video. So it's obviously can change the firepower. Page 162, fleet of Star Destroyers bombard a city into a crater of steaming sludge. Seen skyscrapers melt and storm burn. You can't accomplish that with little poofs of fire. Obviously they can change their firepower. Chapter 30, page 300. Firepower to ruin planets. We're not quite BDZ yet. We're getting there. And I'm sorry, that's my roommate sleeping in the background. But chapter 32, again, melt gleaming cities into slag from open, denuding an entire landmass from a Star Destroyer. Also we see hundreds of freighters, at least 2 Star Destroyers, massive mining ship. The planet was worse off. Almost start to look at it, great chunks of the planet had been carved away from 2 Star Destroyers, mind you. And then this is where they create a tsunami just by firing at a planet. Blah 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 blah. Again, pretty powerful. Separatist planet scoured. Catalyst preliminary results indicate the energy released during the test fire had the destructive power of the combined batteries of a qaz-class Star Destroyer. Again, this is petatons. So, high petatons. Low. So, it's pretty obvious. Star Destroyer firepower is in the petatons. And I don't get why people try to argue against that. It doesn't make sense to me. It's pretty obvious that these guys have ridiculous amounts of firepower. And I know I haven't made a video about Star Wars yet. I apologize for that. And I apologize also for not updating my videos. I've been kind of busy. But I will be making new videos soon. And goodbye.